Welcome back to Davis Reed Alumni Gym. We're getting ready to have the men's senior day festivities, but before we do that, we are getting the plaque given to, or the game ball to Coach Chris Briggs for winning his 350th game as the head coach of the Tigers. And folks, that is the fourth coach in Georgetown College history to win over 350 games. He joins the late Jim Reed, the late Bob Davis, and the very vibrant and very alive Happy Osborne, who, by the way, just sent me a text message saying he's down in Florida. So, Happy, I'm a little upset with you. Yeah, he's a little bit kind of do that. But we're having the men's game here, and as far as the seniors are concerned, we're getting Drew LaMont, number 32. LaMont is a native of Broward County, Florida, and is being escorted today by his parents, Jennifer and Dave. Drew is majoring in communications, and after graduation from Georgetown, he plans to pursue a professional basketball career. His favorite memory at Georgetown is winning the Mid-South Conference Championship. Drew LaMont, he transferred from the University of Wyoming. Give it up for Drew LaMont. So Lamont recognized this afternoon here in Georgetown. I'm going to tell Chris Briggs that's a good look with the tie. He's usually no tie on.
Looking sharp today, no doubt.
Tie today. The voice you hear is LC Yoakum with us.
LC Newton.
I got Newton. Yoakum, Newton. I got your first name right today.
Yep. We're going to get there.
We're going to get maybe.
And
now we're getting Jake Ohmer.
And, of course, everybody's seen Jake Ohmer's game winner.
Oh, boy. I went back and listened to my call, and I thought, good grief, who's the idiot on the other end of that mic? But it was an unbelievable comeback. If you weren't here last Saturday at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, we're going to tell you Jake is a native of Covington, Kentucky, although on the roster on the website says Taylor Mill, Kentucky. He's being escorted today by his parents, Melissa and Pete, along with Evan, Chad, and Petey. Chad, of course, a member of the Tiger basketball program as well. Jake is majoring in communications and plans to play professionally overseas after graduation. Favorite memory here at Georgetown is coming back and getting to chase another conference championship with his brothers.
And what an outstanding story, for him. Didn't play a whole lot on the team in the early parts of the season. Comes back and just does all that he can. Really, he's been a tremendous asset to this team.
Well, the shot heard round the world that gave the Tigers a chance to clinch the outright conference title with a win down at Campbellsville or a Freed-Hardman loss. And both things happened. I think Freed-Hardman lost big, I believe, on the road, but Georgetown took care of business down in Campbellsville to knock off the other Tigers down there in Campbellsville. It wasn't easy, but the Tigers came away with a victory, and that place is never an easy place to play for Georgetown. In my opinion, there are three conference places that are very tough to play overall as far as that's concerned for Georgetown College. The first place is down at Campbellsville. Small gym, fans are on top of you. The student body,
and it does get loud in there,
are very, very rabid, and it is a very old, storied rivalry between those two. The other one is the University of Pikeville. I think Pikeville lost that home court advantage when they moved off of campus to the Pikeville Arena up there. I think that hurt the Bears there, but that's another huge rivalry. And then the third one, a very tough place to play. But again, I thought they lost a little bit of that nostalgia, was the University of the Cumberlands before they changed their name, Cumberland College. They played in a gym similar to this, small, people were on top of you. If you were going to broadcast, you broadcast from a crow's nest in one of the end zones above the basket. Very unique environment, and in retrospect as well, a lot temperature-wise like inside that building, the old Cumberland, the old University of Cumberland's arena down there on their campus. Those are three of the toughest places to play. Now, recently, Shawnee would be one, Life would be another.
And we'd also be remiss not to mention Thomas More due to the pure skill of that basketball team.
And the way they run their offense. They do not get out of what they try to do and what they've been taught. So, You got a lot of things there. So that's just the recent. I'm going back many years. And if you really want to talk about tough place to play for Georgetown over the years in the history of Georgetown history of basketball here, Transylvania. And that was just simply because the crowds were huge at both places. The old McAllister Auditorium, where Beck, the Beck Center is actually built right in the same area or right on top of what used to be McAllister Auditorium. If it was quiet in that place, when you bounce the basketball, you wouldn't hear the basketball bounce. You hear this beep, 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 kind of like a little beeping noise of a big truck backing up. It was a little quieter, but that was a tough place to play. And here, I mean, you had to get there 2 hours before tip-off at either place, here or in Transy, just to get a seat. And then you weren't guaranteed one.
Right.
Fire Marshal closed down both places on numerous occasions. So, showing you how old I am, LC. Showing you how old I am. But Georgetown, the outright conference regular season champ for the 13th time in the history of the Mid-South Conference, more than anybody else, gives them the #1 overall seed. They will host a tournament game, I believe. I thought the whole thing would be played down at Bowling Green High School, but I hear rumors that it may not be. Are you privy into that? Nope. Well,
I would like to take a second to look at this Lindsey Wilson team.
Yep, they're big.
7 feet tall, Lucas Ribeiro from Olympia, Brazil. Tallest guy in the gym.
Yep.
And they do have a lot of experience on this team. They got a few seniors,
A lot of transfers.
A lot of experience.
A lot of transfers in here. As I was looking at their roster earlier today, you got Tayshawn Eccles, who will be here. He comes from the Bronx, New York. He's a junior. He's transferred out of here, out of Herkimer Community College. And I believe that is also out of New York, if I'm not mistaken, if I know my geography. Then you have Rodney Lewis is a junior. He's a transfer out of Garden City Community College, which is one of the premier community college / junior colleges in the country. Then you have Jackson Harlan's a junior. He's transferred back to Lindsey Wilson out of Western Kentucky University. Then you have Jamie Strong, who's one of their senior leaders on this team out of California. Well, you want to talk about a culture shock. You come from Cal Poly Pomona to Lindsey Wilson College. Different atmosphere, different country around you. It's just, I mean, going from California to Kentucky is one thing. You get a lot of warm weather, a lot of storms off the coast coming off the Pacific and things like that. And you may have an earthquake or two, but you come over here and you get into 4 different kinds of weather within just this week.
Oh, man. This week has been insane.
And then, by the way, folks, it's supposed to be 73 degrees by Tuesday.
I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm here for it.
I wouldn't doubt it, though. I mean, it is Kentucky, and if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes, it'll change.
It was snowing here yesterday, man.
It was spitting snow. You're right. And today it's a balmy 39 degrees. It's supposed to be 19 degrees tomorrow morning before shooting up to 46. I know where I'm going to be. Inside and warm. But we got, both teams will play a lot of people. One player in double figures for Lindsey Wilson. And that is Elijah Gordon, the 6'2 senior out of Orlando, Florida. I missed him. He's a transfer from the University of New Hampshire. He thinks this is really warm down here compared to what he's originally from.
I'm sure he does.
As far as playing college ball. But Jordan is averaging 12.7. He is the only Blue Raider in double figures this year.
Yeah, and definitely the focal point of the offense for the Blue Raiders as well.
Yep. Georgetown, meanwhile, has 4 players in double figures, led by Jake Ohmer, 15.7 a game. Cam Brooks-Harris has 12.3. Kyron Jones, who's missed a couple of games, is averaging 10.2.
And he's averaging a double-double, excuse me.
And Tay Dozier is averaging 10 a game. So, Lindsey, normally under Paul Peck, would have loved to have run. They would come in here and try to run with Georgetown. I'd seen several games when Happy Osborne was coaching against Paul Peck, and you would see both teams get to the 90s or the mid to upper 80s, and then a little flavor that Paul Peck brought as a recruiter to Lindsey Wilson. His roster at times was littered with Australians. He would go all the way down to Australia to get some guys, and there were, one year he had 12 players on his roster, 6 of them from Australia.
And those Aussies do love basketball, and we see that on the Australian national team year in and year out, even in the NBA.
Yep.
Guys are coming out of Australia, and
they are very fundamentally sound again as well. I think the foreign-based players, and I'm going to make everybody mad again here in the United States, but guess what? I'm not going to shy away from it. I've always spoken my mind, and that's what I will say. The thing is, foreign players seem to be more adept at fundamentals when it comes to the game of basketball than American-born players. I don't know why that is. I think I have a theory that it's because they are taught the game the way it was meant to be played, and they will really do the things that necessary. They'll block out. They'll take a charge. They'll get on the floor after the ball. They'll shoot free throws really well because they pay attention to those things that American players at times don't seem to think is very important.
I think they definitely could utilize the team aspect of it more so than American players for sure.
And, and again, it's like, with your chosen sport, volleyball, there are some really good volleyball players around the country, although here in Kentucky, it's just now starting to really become a sport that the men are playing.
Absolutely. Men's volleyball is growing here, and it's something that's hopefully going to continue to grow.
Yep. And then you got, places like Brazil or Cuba.
Poland, even.
Poland, Italy, Russia, they all have guys that have just tuned in to volleyball. Here, basketball seems to be more of a universal sport. So American players just think, okay, athletically we can outshine or outclass other players from across the world. Not so. I think, and again, I'm dating myself and running the risk on upsetting some people out there that are listening today and watching our broadcast, but see, I really honestly believe this. If American-born players would focus more on free throw shooting, getting on the floor after loose balls, and you'll see Georgetown do that a lot today, get on the floor after loose balls. But if American-born players would do that more often, they would be so much still more ahead just on athletic ability. Although we do have some foreign-born players that are fantastic. Can't think of the guy's name offhand from Milwaukee.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis. I'm not going to try
the
that.
Greek Freak.
The Greek Freak. I'd say that and nobody knows who I'm talking about, so I'll say Giannis. Everybody knows who that is.
Yeah.
Sabonis. That used to be from Russia. They called him the Russian Bear. He's about 285 pounds. And,
how about Nikola Jokic out of Serbia?
So see, so I think they are good, but there's not as many of them. I think the United States would be so much better served to have guys that paid attention to that.
And Jokic, by the way, on his way to getting back-to-back MVPs in the NBA, which has not happened since, do you know?
Jordan?
Larry Bird.
No, Larry Bird. He got 3. You're right.
3 in a row.
Yeah, that's a pretty good player. Got a chance to meet Larry a long time ago.
Larry legend.
Yep. Jordan Mumford, a 6'6" sophomore out of Middletown, Ohio, will start. He's averaging 8.3 points per game. Peyton Cuns with his own personal cheering section below us here from Somerset, Kentucky. 6'2" senior out of Southwestern High School, averaging 9.6 points a ball game. Also, we get Elijah Jordan. He's the senior out of Orlando, Florida, the University of New Hampshire. 6'2" and a senior, averaging 12.8 points per game. Connor Robinson out of Manchester, Kentucky. He has his own personal cheering section here from Clay County High School. Down below us, 6'3" sophomore, averaging 7 points a game. And then we get the big 7-footer tonight, Lucas Ribeiro out of Olympia, Brazil, if you're going to get it right, right?
There you go.
Out of Ranger College, averaging 5.5 a game. We get CBH, Cam Brooks Harris for Georgetown, 6'7" junior out of Zanesville, Ohio. He's averaging 12.3 points a game. Jacquay Wells out of Louisville Butler High School, 5'11" junior, averaging 7.1. Tay Dozier, 6'5", freshman out of Louisville Butler High School, averaging 10 a game. We're getting Jake Ohmer, a 6'1" senior out of Taylor Mill, Kentucky, averaging 15.7. And Drew LaMont, a 6'8" senior, averaging 8.8 points per game out of Broward County, Florida. Transferred from the University of Wyoming, but went to high school at American Heritage School out of Broward County, one of the premier schools out of Florida that play high school basketball.
There you go. And I'm excited. I can feel the energy here on senior night.
Should be a good one. And if I seem distracted, folks, I'm trying to root my cats on from a distance. They lead by 10 with 2:50 to play in the ball game.
The Louisville Cardinals have not given me much hope this year.
Dude, you need to come over to the bright side. Georgetown in the home white with the orange numerals, the black trim around it. Lindsey in the black with the royal blue and the gray trim around it. And boy, I hate these numbers. I am really going to have to look on those Lindsey Wilson jerseys.
They're not easy to see, are they?
They're not. Georgetown will be man-to-man. This is Cundiff down the lane, gives off to Ribeiro, and he gets the first basket on a two-hand stuff on a nice look from Cundiff.
And a great dish inside for the 7-footer for the easy finish.
2-0. Wells, who's increased his scoring average by a little over a point a game. Here's CBH for three. Might get hit on the arm. No call, will play on through it. Here comes Jones. To Cundiff. As Mumford has it. And now they'll go to Jordan. Right corner, three on the way. Short, he sticks it.
And we got a wedgie.
Yep. And you know how hard that is to do with a three-point jump shot from a corner?
That's a
near impossible.
Really a great look. Executed poorly.
Yep.
But already there, Lindsey Wilson is trying to make that 7-footer the focal point of the offense, running screens, trying to get him looks down low here early.
Ohmer had a look, but I think he got the distance cut down by his defender because he put the dribble down. Here's LaMont for three. Good.
Unbelievable. With a man in his face. No hesitation to knock down the jumper.
LaMont with three. He has been playing much better of late.
Definitely found his rhythm here in the latter part of the season when it matters most.
Looked like he was doubting what he was thinking on the floor instead of just playing. This is Cundiff. Step back three straight away. High arcer.
Oh, my.
That thing brought rain. There was so much arc on that one. It was definitely wet when it came down. 5-3, Blue Raiders.
What a shot by Cundiff.
Yeah, that was with a man in his face. CBH for three to answer. No. Dozier wanted a push off by Cundiff, and I think he may have a point there. They go down low to Romero, and he lays it in.
And uncontested at 7 feet tall, that's pretty much automatic.
Lindsey Wilson coaching staff, after the retirement of Paul Peck, decided, hey, we're going to go back on the foreign-born players. Here's LaMont for three, left of the circle, back rim, no. Rebounded by Lindsey Wilson. Boy, these numbers are hard to see. This is Jordan in the corner. Ribeiro off the right block. Cundiff cuts baseline. Back he goes to Mumford. He got in the lane, had it stripped. Ribeiro shouldn't be a shot clock out. Should not have gotten reset because Georgetown didn't have the basketball long enough to reset the shot clock.
Great active hands by Cam Brooks Harris in the paint there to disrupt the offensive flow of Lindsey Wilson.
Yep, Ribeiro goes to the bench.
Quick outing for the Brazilian.
Down low. And a foul coming on Jacquay Wells. And I tell you what, I thought Jordan might have gotten away with that right arm as he shoved off And the foul is on Wells. His first. Count the bucket, though, for Jordan. And at the line will be Jordan for one. And the Tigers off to a shaky start. As coming in for Lindsey is Connor Robertson back in replacing Cundiff. So a revolving door for the Lindsey Wilson bench, from bench to scorer's table to the floor and back.
Averaging 7 points a game, Robinson is going to really look to stretch the floor for the Blue Raiders.
10-3, Lindsey. Ohmer for three, way off. Rebound chased down by LaMont, saved into Dozier. CBH for three, back rim no. Dozier goes and gets it. LaMont has it, and a foul on Jackson Edwards.
And these free throws are all going to be thanks to Drew LaMont and the hustle on diving for that loose ball, throwing it back in play, and keeping the ball alive.
Well, they're going to say they got him on the floor, so the Tigers will inbound with a fresh 20 on the shot clock. And you saw Lamont just, oh my, they missed Dozier early on, and the reach behind by Jameis Jones may have confused there. There's Edwards, it's not Edwards, I'm sorry, that is Robinson driving baseline cutoff. Boy, those numbers are hard to see. I don't even think I can see him from the floor. Could you, LC?
I can, but I got laser-focused eyes right now.
Okay. In other words, that's a dig saying I'm old, right? Here's a Jones shot from the free throw line. Good.
Smooth step-back jumper.
If this looks like a familiar scenario, Georgetown fell behind just like this last Saturday. Dozier drives on Robinson. Another contact, no call, but Dozier gets it to go.
I'm not sure what kind of English he put on that backboard, but he was able to get it.
He just hung up on the rim and dropped through. Big basket for Georgetown to cut that lead to 7. 12-5 Blue Raiders. Here's three out of the corner. No. Wells with the rebound. Gives back to Lamont. Ohmer driving, gets hit by Jackson. And for Jackson Edwards, that's 2.
And what do we know about Jake Ohmer? He might miss his first shot. He's still going to keep shooting that basketball.
He's got what they call no conscience. He will just let it fly from everywhere. Jones, Edwards, and Mumford all report to the bench.
And with the way Ohmer has been playing, Coach Briggs has surely given him the green light to take those shots.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you the 3 replacements for Lindsey Wilson here in just a minute. Lamont working on one of those into the lane, in the corner to Wells. Back to CBH. 8 on the shot clock. Wells down the lane. Ohmer lets 3 go. Got it.
Right on cue, Jake Ohmer with no hesitation.
With a man in his face. And it's 12-8.
Fighting through the screen.
And a double foul. 1 on Ohmer and 1 on Elijah Jordan. The 2 leading scorers, each with a foul.
The officials taking control of this game early, not letting it get chippy.
Well, a little bit of the rivalry has been lost with the addition of Thomas More and Shawnee State coming in. Of course, Shawnee is leaving the conference after this year. This is Rodney Lewis. 3 on the way, high left-hand archer, no good. Dozier goes and gets the rebound. That shot was missed by Jamie Strong. Dozier, they all run off and leave him. He hangs, puts it up, no. Should have gone backboard with it. Rebound cleared by Kalonji. 3 for Strong again. That's way off. Rebounded by Ohmer for Georgetown. Here's CBH out of the corner for 3. In and out. Rebounded by Strong. And Lindsey going to slow it down.
Tough miss for Cam. That was a good look in the corner.
He's had a couple of really nice looks. His ball's done everything but fall. Kalonji straight ahead. Gives it off to Lewis. Lamont closed out on him. Here's Strong. Back to Robinson for 3. Got it.
And Robinson was wide open. I'm not sure who was going to guard him there.
Miscommunication by Georgetown on the switch. It's 15-8. Lindsey. Georgetown playing like a team that is Ohmer again for 3. Got it.
Unbelievable how
Ohmer,
fast he can get that shot off.
Believe it or not, Georgetown wins at Campbellsville. Ohmer doesn't score and plays only a few minutes. Lewis to Robinson on Dozier, steps through, goes over to LaMont, dances and stays.
Looks like Ohmer took a little shot to the nose there on that one.
Yeah. It's okay. It ain't going to affect that shooting eye, though. He's hit 2 tough ones. And we have a whistle and a foul. And the foul on Elijah Jordan. The Lindsey Wilson bench doesn't like that call. But that's the second time Lewis has just run straight through a screen.
And one thing I love about Jake Ohmer's game, he kind of resembles Steph Curry in terms of the off-ball movement. You see him running around through screens, fighting to get open looks behind the three-point line.
Well, the guy that was really adept at using screens and then also creating his own shot at times, Larry Bird. Ohmer will inbound to Rashad Bishop, who's in for the first time today. Also Tommy Thomas. Here's Bishop, got a mismatch on and a foul coming up on Rodney Lewis. That's his first. That foul on Jordan was his second because he was in the fray down here against Ohmer, where he and Jake both had a foul called on a double foul. 17-11 inside to Thomas, laid it up and in.
Tommy Thomas with his first bucket of the game.
17-13, Tigers back within 4. They trailed by 8 earlier. Lewis down the right side, gives back to Kalonji. Strong inside the three-point arc, down on the left baseline now to Kalonji, working on Bishop. Forced it up over Bishop and a foul.
Rashad doesn't agree. It looked like good defense.
They're actually going to call it on Cam Brooks Harris, his first. And I tell you what, as a coach and a player, you get frustrated with an official when you see that. You got your hands straight up, and the offensive guy creates by jumping into you. That's where I think officials and coaches especially disagree. Kalonji misses the first and he bricks it. And, you know, and it goes back to when they put in the rule of the principle of verticality. And I've had officials explain this to me, and I'll try to explain it to you as we go through this half. Kalonji's second free throw.
Oh, wow.
My.
The ball does not lie.
No. That one was even harder than the first one. And the Tigers can come within a possession here with a field goal here. Wells throws it up for Bishop.
Woo! Bishop with the high arcing slam.
And a timeout, Lindsey Wilson.
Throw it down, Rashad.
Oh, my. And you know what? It looked like he just kind of hung in the air and caught the ball and just kind of looked at the rim and then said, okay, I'm going to dunk it. Just like, oh, my, to have springs like that, huh?
Must be nice.
It must be. 17-15, Tigers within 2 at 12:26 to play in the first half. And if you're listening and watching our broadcast and not listening to the UK game, the Cats will sweep the Volunteers this year.
There you
up
go.
12 with 30 seconds to play.
After the Volunteers just took off the #1 team, Alabama.
That's what I've been trying to tell everybody all year long. If everybody will just let this team not develop, but decide they're going to play, they can beat anybody in the country.
Man, I can't wait for March.
Nope. And we have a whistle and a foul coming up on Lewis.
Georgetown ball.
Lewis is second. He becomes the third. They have 6 personal fouls. They are all on 3 players. Elijah Jordan with 2, Jackson Edwards with 2, and Rodney Lewis now with 2.
The Blue Raiders in foul trouble early.
Harris with the basketball to Ohmer. Here's CBH.
Cam's got a mismatch down low.
Wells to Ohmer. Under 10 to shoot. Ohmer driving, got hammered, no call. Bishop kept it alive, and the ball goes out of bounds. I tell you what, Jamias Jones got very physical with Ohmer on the drive. Jake's got to, I think, go into the chest and up through the chin. Now, I'm not saying play dirty, but that's saying if you're going to let a guy, if an officiating crew is going to let him get physical with you and bounce you and bump you on the drive, then when you leave your feet to shoot, go into him, into his chest, into his body. That way he can't get his arms up to defend you, and then you put the onus on the officials to make a call.
Yeah, force that contact and get yourself to the line.
And we'll see what happens as this one. Keep an eye on that. Jones got very, very physical with Ohmer. And the other note I can see, because Cumberland did it for the first half against Ohmer as well here a week ago. They got physical with Jake. And evidently the scouting report on Jake Ohmer around the conference right now is get physical with him and try to get in his head and get him out of his game. He's got 6 so far today. Cumberland did that until the second half, and Ohmer just went off in the second half.
Yeah, so we'll see if that pays off for the Blue Raiders or not.
Sometimes it's best to let a sleeping dog lie. You heard that country saying before?
That's a new one.
That's a new one? I forget. You're from the city. My partner here is from Louisville, folks, and I keep forgetting we have a whistle and what?
We're going to re-inbound the ball.
Re-inbound the ball. The shot clock's at 27 seconds. Both coaches donning the suit and ties today.
Yeah, looking sharp out there.
I like that. I'm old school. The new guy in the lineup is Jaden Lazard, a 6-foot freshman. Bodies everywhere. Cam Brooks-Harris claims the rebound. Ohmer in a very precarious position right underneath the basket on the floor. They go to Bishop on the right block. Turning on Kalonji. Kalonji bottled him up. No call. Boy, they are letting them play in the paint on both ends.
They sure are.
Driving. Bishop almost blocked that one. Kalonji, though, will tip it in.
Right place at the right time for Kalonji.
19-15. Tigers find themselves down 4. Wells, left-hand layup, good.
Woo, sweet move to the rim.
You don't see Jalen Jaquay do that much, but
he's got that in his bag for sure.
He does, and he's got longer arms than you think at 5'11". This is Mumford, out of Kalonji. Around it goes. Boy, these numbers. They try to go down to Kalonji, taken away by Wells, and he's on the end line. And I think Kalonji got by with 1-2 as Jaquay went up in the air. He just kind of gave him a little nudge.
Another great hustle attempt, though, by the Tigers, diving out of bounds to keep the ball in play for their team.
Ribeiro back in, number 34 in black, along with LaMont. And Jabrion Spikes in for Georgetown, number 4 in white. 6'2 freshman out of Princeton, Kentucky. Caldwell County High School. Ribeiro has it swatted out of there by Bishop. Ohmer headed the other direction in a charge.
What a block by Rashad Bishop. Oh, my.
And I tell you what, they call the foul on Ohmer. That's 2 on Ohmer. But I thought, truthfully, to be honest with you, Cundiff did not establish chest facing, which is what they tell you a block charge is supposed to look like and not be totally set feet-wise. So the second on Ohmer.
Ohmer doesn't like it, and I can't blame him.
They go down low to Mumford. He drives baseline on Bishop. Oh, my. Going to call it travel.
Rashad Bishop almost with another block there. He's all over the floor defensively.
Mumford looked up and saw 24 in white and said, I remember what happened to my 7-footer. I'm going to shuffle my feet because I don't want to be blocked. He still was swatted by Bishop anyway. LaMont fakes the handoff to Thomas. Gives to Spikes right in front of the Lindsey bench. Gives it back to LaMont. Boy, I tell you what. Mumford, that's blocked out of there by Ribeiro. And I tell you what, they've got to do something on both ends because both defensive players on each end with the post have been wrapping that offside arm around the waist of the offensive player, and as the pass is coming in, tugging and pulling them to turn them. And it's happened on both ends defensively. So they lob to Bishop.
Woo!
Put it in.
Just throw it up for Rashad, and he'll put it in the hole.
Nobody's going to be on the same atmospheric plane as Bishop.
Tommy Thomas with a steal.
Yep, Georgetown has tied it at 19 with a dunk by Thomas.
Unbelievable. Thomas with the steal and the finish.
21-19 Tigers. They trailed by 8 a minute ago. Here's Mumford. As the crowd has gotten into it all of a sudden. They took them a while last week. They've been in it from the get-go tonight. And a whistle and a foul on Jabarion Spikes.
What a play by Thomas.
You're going to say on the side. Now, they called a hold on Bishop on this end. He didn't do anything different than what was done on the other end. Now you've established an official. I've called it on this end. I've got to watch it on the other end too. Not saying it wasn't a foul on Bishop, but you gotta call it.
And into the game for the Tigers is Seth Johnson. So much depth on this Tiger squad. The Blue Raiders are not going to catch a break.
Got some important news to report to you. We'll give it to you in just a minute. Here's Ribeiro with another two-hand flush.
And it's a dunk fest in Alumni Gym.
And we're tied at 21. Ribeiro comes in averaging 5.5. He has 6 here in the first quarter, or first half.
And a block of his own, too.
We'll tell you when we get a second here in the break in the action, what I just told. LaMont with it on the near side. Thomas, Mr. Offense, right off the bench. Here's Seth Johnson behind the back on Connor Robinson. Down the lane goes Bishop. Off balance, good.
Just elevates and get to his flotation device.
Ribeiro may be 7 foot, but he is not going to out-jump Rashad Bishop. I do not care how tall you are. 23-21 Tigers. 8:10 to play in the first half. Down the lane goes Lazard, and a blocking foul on Thomas. His first. The officials better buckle up because both teams have increased the intensity on this floor here at Georgetown College. It is a before the shot foul, so Lazard will inbound.
Well, this is absolutely a monumental part in both of these teams' seasons.
Kunda for 3, left wing, in and out, and a foul. And I agree. They're going to say he pushed him, but I tell you what, Cundiff got that foul by kicking the right leg out as Thomas went flying by and caught his leg on Thomas's. He'll get 3. But I agree with Tommy. Players from both sides talk about holding around the waist in the lane. They're both talking. Spikes on one side of the official out near the timeline, and Lazard on the other. Cundiff will be at the line for 3.
And if you're the officials right now, you're thinking, man, I can't make anybody happy.
In and out for Cundiff. Yeah. Well, the only people who ever cared, and this is not my saying, this is Bernie Jenkins, the mayor now of Georgetown, former high school basketball season. The only people that care about you is Cundiff hits the second. In the gymnasium on a game like this is yourself, your partner, your girlfriend or wife, and your parents. That's it. Nobody else likes the guys in the stripes.
It's not easy.
It's that easy. I would say it's that simple, but it's not. Been these guys, the guys in the stripes this afternoon, I have been in their shoes as an official. It is no fun. Tough job. Cundiff goes 2 of 3 at the line. We're tied at 23. They go down low to LaMont. That was not a very good pass from Bishop. Mumford headed the other direction. Cundiff, 3, right wing. Got it.
Cundiff with a smooth stroke.
Yep. To unhook the net. Cundiff now with 8. He comes in averaging 9.6. He's almost. Well, here's the thing.
Oh, my goodness.
The coaches have said, but here's the problem. No communication between the officiating crew. The guy at the far end of the floor on the Georgetown half, did not know that there was an injured player for Lindsey.
And, yeah, you're right. The communication has to be better among the officials because that's now 2 times that the inbounds has started incorrectly.
Correct. And that's not on them. That's on the officiating crew. It's not on either team. Spikes tried to hit Thomas, and there wasn't any prayer of that pass getting through. Kind of headed the other direction. Gives to Mumford, who missed the layup. Ribeiro put it back up and in.
The friendly roll for the Brazilian.
He's got 8, and it's a 5-point Lindsey Wilson lead. Georgetown getting a little sloppy, and they're going to get Wells back at the scorer's desk.
As well as Jake Ohmer.
Johnson gets leveled, and it goes out of bounds off of Johnson. And Ribeiro gets up slowly. It looks like he banged these. But I tell you what, man. Whew. A lot of contact underneath in Georgetown. Again, trailing by 5 with 6:55 and the clock moving. This is Cundiff. High post to Ribeiro. Cundiff goes back down. And an intentional foul on Cundiff as he just grabbed the leg of Ohmer.
And you're absolutely right about that scouting report. They are being as physical as possible what they can with Jake Ohmer.
Well, Cundiff got mad at Ohmer and just leveled him. And Ohmer never touched him when he came off that screen. He cut off the screen. His feet went out from underneath of him.
It's going to be a technical.
It's actually an intentional foul, and Georgetown will get the ball. And Ohmer at the line for 2. And the free throw's no good. Now he'll shoot 1. And write that down. He doesn't miss very many. And he missed both.
You know what? I might blame you for that one. The announcer's jinx.
True. But I will say this.
I mean, Jake Ohmer is the guy they want to have at the free throw line.
Yeah, he was the guy that had the intentional foul. So we're trying to figure out who the ball was with. I guess it stays with Lindsey. So an intentional foul on Cundiff doesn't hurt the Blue Raiders. And they inbound deep with 6:40 to play. Blue Raiders with a 5-point lead, 28-23. They answered a huge Georgetown flurry a moment ago. Cundiff, step back on Thomas, gives to Ribeiro. Now hand back in a jumper way off and Strong trying to get around. I believe that was LaMont who had him blocked out of Bishop, and the ball goes out of bounds. That shot by Lazard was left. Didn't even draw iron. This is Wells. High post to Bishop. Ohmer and Cundiff guarding each other again, so keep an eye on it. It got physical. Ribeiro tried to help Ohmer, gives it to Thomas. He's fouled. And Ribeiro with his first.
Jake Ohmer, regardless of the double team, sprinting around this Blue Raiders defense, able to find the guy open and cutting into the middle of the lane.
Thomas will go to the line for 2. He has 4. And the Tigers, and earlier in the game, I said that it didn't look like they had the fire that they had. Well, they didn't have the fire a week ago until that 7.5 minutes to go in the game.
And you're absolutely right. And boy, did they miss Tommy Thomas. You know, he was injured for a little bit there, and they have to be excited about getting him back.
Well, and the thing is, too, with Thomas back, it gives you a more deeper bench.
And he's just an energy guy. You know, he brings it on both ends of the floor.
He hits both free throws. He has 6. We get Tay Dozier replacing Thomas. So it's 28-25. Tigers trail by 3 with 6:05 to play in the first half. Earlier in the game, Jaquay Wells got his 400th career assist.
What an accomplishment for Jaquay Wells.
He's got another year, and he's 200 and some odd, I think 265 away from L.J. Coward, who is the all-time leader.
And the epitome of a true point guard.
Cundiff misses the shot. Dozier doesn't block him out, and he gets it back. Kalonji, he just runs over
And great positioning by Drew LaMont there.
He just ran over LaMont. And for you young folks, we got some young kids up behind the Georgetown College bench. Some young basketball players here.
And boy, were they loving the pregame dunk show.
They were loving the pregame dunk show, but they got a clinic in how not to defend a jump shooter. Dozier got a hand up as the shot was going up. He turned and watched the jump shot instead of turning and blocking out. So you got to put a backside on somebody.
And let's talk about the pace of this game real quick. I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot of slow basketball. Nope. People are sprinting on both ends of the floor. This has been an exciting first period.
Yeah, and it's in Georgetown's favor to run. That's why Lindsey was trying to go ahead and do different lineups and rotating a bunch of people in to try to keep their people fresh. The word was eluding me for some reason today. But Georgetown right now really having a tough time keeping the energy level up.
Yeah, and with just 5 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first half, some team has to separate the score differential and really take control of this basketball game.
Yeah. Well, Georgetown trails 28-25 with 5:44 to play before halftime.
Keep an eye on Jake Ohmer here.
Yeah, Wells has it just dribbled off his foot, headed the other way as Lazard, and lays it in.
And an uncharacteristic turnover by Jaquay.
That's one that, as a head coach, you go, I can't believe it. It's just a temporary lax in focus. Ohmer. 3 on the way. Got it.
Unbelievable. His ability to create space behind the three-point line.
9 for Ohmer, and the Georgetown bench wanted a hold on Jemias Jones. I mean, he really mugged Ohmer on the cut. Here's Jones with it. Driving on Ohmer. Robinson for 3. In and out. Rebounded by Bishop.
And they cannot keep giving Robinson those open looks.
Nope. Ohmer working on Jones. He floats. And I don't agree with that. Ohmer left the floor, and then Kalonji set after Ohmer left the floor. That's not a charge, folks.
A magnificent shot off the glass is going to be forgotten because of that call.
And that's 3 on Jake. He'll have to go to the bench for the rest of the first half. And I agree. I think Lazard or Jones actually got by with a push because Ohmer is questioning that. And here we go. That was a nice move by Ohmer to get free, too.
Really was. I mean, a great shot off the glass, moving in the air.
Here's Jones. Too strong. Lazard drives baseline. Throws a bullet of a pass. But Robinson got a hand on it. If he didn't, it's going to hit him in the face.
They got 5 seconds.
Jones on LaMont. Steps through from 15. Back rim, no. Gets his own. Puts it up. That should, yeah. Well, the shot clock went off just as they rebounded the basketball. It should have been a 20-second 3-shot clock, but Lazard lost it. It should be Georgetown ball, but they decided to give it to Lindsey Wilson. Lamont steals it. Weak pass coming in from Lazard, and Lamont an easy pick off there. Spikes back in. Can't get free. Here's CBH with it now out right wing. And again, boy, Jones just got hands all over him. And a foul coming up on CBH. And I tell you what, Lindsey right now really taking and pushing the envelope of just how physical you can get. And the officials are allowing it.
And
so
they're
Lindsey,
rewarding them.
Yeah, you keep playing that way until you get until you get called for it.
Coach Briggs can't believe it, and I'm right there with him.
Neither can Brooks Harris either.
The officiating's been a huge story here in the first half.
And they are trying to keep control of it, but here's the thing, you can also bog it down as Robinson got away with the travel.
Oh my gosh, he called him little.
Yep. He got a travel. He drug that pivot foot and got away with it in traffic. 32-28, Tigers trail by 4. Dozier drives on Robinson, and now you call a touch.
Great answer by Tay Dozier.
Maybe a foul, but I'm going to tell you right now, there wasn't much contact there.
Not a lot.
And I agree with Robinson. I mean, what did I do? That's one of those.
A possible makeup call.
Maybe, but here's what I'm going to give the officials benefit of the doubt. This is not an easy game to call. You got rivals going at each other, but.
And I mean, every possession, it's a battle.
You have let a lot of stuff go that was a lot worse than just happened for Connor Robinson. Tough call on Robinson. 32-31, Lindsey with a 1-point lead, under 3 to play in the first half. Robinson, not this time. Same move. This time he gets caught. There wasn't as much traffic in there. Official had a good look at it. But it was the same exact move he did the time before. Dozier will run the point. Interesting, you got 3 point guards on the floor right now. You got Clay, you have Gabrion, and Tay. Tay hangs, counted the foul.
An unbelievable layup by Tay Dozier.
Oh my. The spin, the hang, the hoop, and the harm. Oh my.
And that right there is why he just brought the ball up. They saw a mismatch, and he attacked it.
Yeah. Oh, my. Whew. He has 7 now. Looking for 8, and he's got 8.
I'm not sure if Robinson can guard Tay Dozier one-on-one.
There are not too many people who can guard Tay in the open court. Not too many. Tigers lead 34-32 with 2.5 to play before halftime. This seems like an eternity in the first half. Lazard to Strong.
And another foul on the jump shooter.
Yep. And for CBH, that's his second. Contact up, and the contact wasn't as strong as Strong made it look. CBH got him up top. Strong started to fall, then more contact after that. Strong hits the first. And I thought really CBH got by with one on the way up. Should have been a foul on the wrist before that, not after. Strong hits both. Somebody asked me too, when a shooter falls across the free throw line like Strong just did before the ball gets to the net, why isn't that a violation?
It's a good question.
By rule, it's supposed to be. Strong goes 1-2 for 3 from the free throw line. We're tied at 34. Good question. Never been asked that. I need to ask an official that, see what kind of answer I get. Jones has now drawn the assignment on Dozier. Spikes. Bounces in the right corner to LaMont. Now Spikes. Penetrates. Gives it off to Bishop. Look out.
Great dish by Spikes. And Bishop with the finish.
Solange did what we call Ole defense. That was kind of I'm going to let you go. I'm not going to get posterized.
A business decision, if you will.
Thank you. 36-34, Tigers by 2. Strong for 3 over Bishop.
Way off.
Barely draws iron. Here comes Dozier in a hurry. Wells all the way to the hole, laid it in.
And the Tigers are pushing that tempo.
38-34, Georgetown. That's Georgetown's biggest lead of the first half.
And they are dominating in the fast break point industry right now.
You would think. I thought that on the girls' side, and Lindsey led at halftime in fast break points, so we'll see. We're not the official scorers, unfortunately, on that part. Here's Lazard working on Dozier. Put it up. Partially blocked and now thrown away. Bishop was expecting Wells to go on the go route.
Go for that long bomb.
And Quay checked it up on the little hitch route. For all you football aficionados out there. Just a miscommunication between quarterback and wideout.
You know a thing or two about football, don't you?
A little bit. Here's Lazard. Cundiff, deep three. Way off. He said he got hit. Nobody touched him. That was just a shot that came off the side of his hand. LaMont missed the floater. Spikes missed the tip. Kalanji rebounds, and Dozier and Lamont both took a stab at it and didn't come up with it. Ahead to Lazard. About a second between shot clock and game clock. Tigers with a 4-point lead. 38-34. Lazard. Nope.
Move that.
Spikes ahead to Dozier. Over the head layup. Good.
And what a finish to that half.
And folks, I'm going to tell you, watch Channel 27 tonight. I guarantee you Steve Moss, who's here shooting tonight, will have that in the highlight package for his sports broadcast, for his sportscasters tonight.
Has to, man. I mean, Rashad Bishop with the block, swat off the glass.
Then the outlet from, I think it was that Bishop or was that Lamont that had the outlet? And then the catch by Tay, and then the over-the-head finish.
And Tay's ability to finish that layup at full speed, like slow it down off the glass, unbelievable,
and
unreal.
Blindly, he had no clue where the rim was at the time. 10 for Tay to lead Georgetown at halftime, and the Tigers enjoy their biggest lead of the first 20 minutes here at the halftime break. It's Georgetown 40, Lindsey Wilson 34 on the Tigers Sports Network. Back here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym on the campus of Georgetown College in Georgetown, Kentucky. Saturday afternoon basketball. It's been a great day of basketball here so far. The Georgetown women win by 31 in the opener this afternoon. The Cats win by 12 at home over Tennessee, the dreaded Volunteers. And now Georgetown's men lead here at the halftime break, 40-34, after trailing for much of that first half.
And really, it was a lot of back and forth. between the lead changes, and then all of a sudden, to close out the half, the Tigers came swarming.
By the way, 4 times the game was tied in that first 20 minutes. 5 lead changes. Fast break points, Georgetown trails in that category 7-6 to Lindsey Wilson. Second chance points, Georgetown trails in that with 4-0. Points in the paint, though, Georgetown has that advantage, 22-18. Points off turnovers, Lindsey Wilson has advantage there, 9-5. Lindsey Wilson's last field goal came with 1:26 to play in that half. Of course, Georgetown's came with 1 second left in that first half on the acrobatic finish by Tay Dozier. Largest lead in the first half for Lindsey Wilson was 9. That came with 16:24 to play in the first half. That was early in the game. Georgetown's largest lead is 6. It comes right here at the end of the first half of play. Scoring looks like this in the first half. Well, let's give you the shooting first off. Lindsey Wilson, 13 of 28 in the first half for 46%. 3 of 11 from behind the arc for 27%. They are 5 of 9 from the line in the first half for 56%. Georgetown, meanwhile, 16 of 29 on the afternoon from the floor for 55%. 4 of 10 from behind the arc for 40%. 4 of 6 from the line for 67%. Georgetown leads in rebounding 14-12. Lindsey has the edge on the offensive glass 4-3. 7 turnovers for Lindsey in the first half, 8 for the Tigers. 1 block to 2 in favor of Georgetown. 3 steals for both teams. Here's the stat we're looking for. Georgetown, 10 assists on their 16 made field goals in the first half. Lindsey, 6 assists on their 13 made field goals in the first half. Individual scoring looks like this in the first half. 8 points for Peyton Cundiff of Lindsey to lead the Blue Raiders in scoring, along with Lucas Ribeiro. 7 for Connor Robinson. 5 for Elijah Jordan. 2 points each for Vernon Kalalanchi, Jaden Lazard, and Jamie Strong, also with 2.
And only 6 points off the bench for the Blue Raiders. I think this is where that's going to separate these two teams. Well, the Tigers have depth, and we know about it.
Lindsey played in that first half. They played 12 players in that first half. Georgetown played 9. Now remember, Lindsey has not played in this environment, this hot environment here. It is living up to his name of the sauna. But Georgetown has played 9, so they are used to practicing playing in this environment. Leading scorer in the ball game is Tay Dozier. He has 10. 9 for Jake Ohmer.
And what jumps out at me real quick about Jake, we know how physical the Blue Raiders are being with him.
Yes.
And he is still shooting 75% from three-point range, knocking down 3 out of 4 of his threes.
And the one he missed, we thought it was halfway down, he came out. So he has 3 fouls, too. So Jake's going to be smart in the next 20 minutes. 8 points for Tommy Thomas, Mr. Offense, off the bench. And then 6 points for 8 points for Shad Bishop, 6 for Tommy Thomas.
And what I love about Tommy Thomas, he isn't always going to be the scorer, and he just, he picks what he needs to do that game, and he does it.
Right.
It's not about the stats with him. He's a basketball player.
Right. And that's what you need. You need guys to understand their role and come in and do that role every game out. 4 points for Jaquay Wells and 3 points for Drew LaMont. LaMont got the start this afternoon on Senior Day. Had some big rebounds in that first half of play for Georgetown. 4 rebounds for Dozier, 3 each for Bishop, Lamont, and 2 for Brooks Harris, 1 each for Ohmer, Wells, and Seth Johnson in the first half of play. Georgetown trailed by as many as 9 in the first half, and we thought, oh boy, here we go again. The difference between Lindsey Wilson and Cumberland kept the pressure up. And then Lindsey, all of a sudden, about midway through that second half of that first half, decided to get real physical on the end. And I think it got them away from their offensive flow on the offensive end. So we'll see how they adjust coming back out of the locker room here at halftime. Georgetown, though, doesn't matter how bad they're playing, doesn't matter how bad the shots aren't falling, doesn't matter how physical the other team's getting with them, Georgetown's going to play 150 miles an hour.
Right, and that's what they have to do. You know, you can't let the officiating determine how your play is going to be. You have to just grind it out and find a way to win, and that's what they've done so far. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Georgetown, aside from what happened last week, they were down, it was 19 last week at halftime. Then came back and just kicked it into a gear where they got down 27 at one time in the second half. They trailed by 23 with 7.5 to play. And then all of a sudden it was like a switch was turned on the Georgetown end. And on the Cumberland end, things just kind of stagnated. Georgetown outscored the Phoenix over that last 7.5 minutes 38-6.
And it just goes to show that no matter what the score is, these Tigers are going to fight regardless.
They're going to fight. They're going to continue to go 150 miles an hour offensively.
And they feel like they're never out of the game.
No, and the thing was about that, they not only did that, but they turned up the defensive pressure on their defensive end and got several turnovers, got several defensive stops, and created that miraculous come-from-behind win on the miraculous shot by Jake Ohmer at the buzzer. So, you know, that was last week. This is this week. It's a different half of basketball. Tigers lead by 6 here at the break. And we're going to see if they can hang on for their 24th victory on the season. They are currently 23-4, 17-4 in conference play, and we'll see if they can hold on here and give themselves a little bit more breathing room as we go down here this next 20 minutes. Tigers back out of the locker room with 3:20 to play. That is kind of the Chris Briggs MO. But Lindsey Wilson gave up an easy basket. Well, wasn't an easy basket because it was a heck of a catch by Dozier and an even better finish to give the Tigers this 6-point lead. So, that being said, Lindsey still in the locker room, under 3 minutes to go before the second half gets underway here. And probably some paint peeling taking place in that locker room for the Blue Raiders.
Yep. And
they
how
got
about
away from what got them the lead?
We got some former Tigers in attendance. Mr. Kofi.
I see him, and there's a couple others down there at the end. Is that Quan Poindexter in the middle?
Believe so.
Or is that it might be Quan, I'm not sure. Been a while since I've seen Quan. And I guess he's back overseas. We haven't seen in a while. I saw him at a football game. I think I saw him briefly at a basketball game here. The irrepressible Chris Coffey. And I affectionately dubbed him Spaceman.
Spaceman.
And it wasn't because he could jump really well, because he could. And it wasn't because he was a high-flying act and you never knew what you were going to get, kind of like Rashad Bishop on a finish on a lob. You never knew with Chris either. Chris more so because of his personality.
Yeah.
He was out there.
Like you said, he marches to the beat of his own drum.
He did. And have you Googled what I told you to do on YouTube?
Yeah.
The William Carey halftime shot from Chris Coffey in the middle of the NEI tournament?
Yeah.
Wasn't it funny watching all the teams sprint off right behind him? I've never seen that happen. Chris, didn't surprise me. He was sprinting like he was on fire.
And what a joy to be around.
He was. And I tell you what, earlier in that day, Jason Griefer, the new SID here at Georgetown, he and I were on the air doing a pregame. Okay? And we had a long extended pregame because the game before us had run behind a little bit by the time we went on the air. We feel the table kind of shake, and we're going, what in the world? We look up, here's Chris Coffey stretched out in front of us with his head on his hand, with this goofy look grinning on his face. And I just took my headsets off, turned mine down, and looked at him, and I said, you better go out and have a big game if you want that goofy. Have a big game, he did. How about 39 points, 21 rebounds, 5 blocks?
Does not get much better than that, does it?
No.
There's a reason why he's playing professionally now.
And that was also the reason why I had won him. Not only did Georgetown then go on to win the national championship in convincing fashion over a very good Carroll, Montana team when they held Carroll 30 points below their season average. And held down the National Player of the Year from Carroll, and I can't remember his name offhand. He got his points late in the game, but they held him down the first half. And it was a dominating performance. But Chris Coffey, also one of those Georgetown greats.
And we're back.
Yep. Tommy Thomas will start the second half in place of Jake Ohmer, who has those 2 fouls. Elijah Jordan Mumford. And this is Mumford with the fall away. No good. Rebounded by Dozier. Here's Thomas. Who gives to LaMont here on the near side. Wales. Cundiff. That's a mismatch foot speed wise. Cundiff a lot stronger than Wales. He'll go to the rim. Does Wales miss the shot? Rebounded by Ribeiro.
Went with the floater, just in and out.
Yeah, and then Dozier picks the pocket of Ribeiro. Here's Thomas. Hesitates, goes down, puts it up, and a whistle and a foul on Elijah Jordan. That's 3 on Elijah, the first on the Blue Raiders.
And LaMont heads to the bench.
Yeah. Georgetown he's got a little blood on his knee, I think, or no, it's his finger. It's that right hand he's got taped. 30-second timeout for Lindsey. Drew LaMont, he's shaking that right wrist. You're going to get Seth Johnson in. Can't tell if it's the wrist that's bothering him or the thumb. And he made the motion to the trainer that when they were asking what happened, it looked like he made the motion. I had my hand open, got pushed backwards. Lamont's going to go behind the bench to get a little bit more attention from the training staff. But Georgetown, on that missed opportunity a moment ago, covered up the 2 outlet guards that were coming back to help Ribeiro, forced him to put the ball on the floor, and then Wells came slithering in from behind like a thief in the night.
Like a thief in the night.
Yep. Jaquay's fast enough where he can turn the light out and be in bed before the light goes off.
You're right about that.
And Thomas at the line for 2. The first free throw back rims it no good.
And Wells' speed is such an advantage on the offensive end. His ability to start and stop and get past his defender. And also create open looks for his teammates.
Right.
Big reason why he's got 5 assists already.
Thomas hits his second. He has 7. And it's 41-34 Tigers. And Thomas, boy, young folks, look at the stance by Thomas. Down, hands on, extended. And boy, he is pressuring Jordan.
And the way he plays defense should be taught in textbooks.
Going to call a foul on Wells, away from the ball. That's the second on Jaquay. The first on the Tigers here in the second. And give Elijah Jordan, he called attention to it by flailing his arms like he had been attacked. Thomas on Jordan, puts it up, short.
Too much of a contest by the Tigers.
Tipped out to Thomas. Thomas, the middle of the floor, right side to Dozier. They cover him. Back to Thomas. 3 out of the right corner. Got it.
Tommy Thomas with no hesitation drains the corner 3.
10 for Thomas, and it's 44-34 Tigers. Here's Jordan. Gives to Jones. He gives here to Mumford. Now to Cundiff. 3 straight away, and Wells got drilled again.
And a wide open look for Cundiff.
And Cundiff now with 11.
And he's proven time and time he can knock that shot down.
To lead Lindsey. This is Dozier. Yeah, Wells went down like he'd been shot. Bishop, look out. Ribeiro cannot guard Rashad Bishop man-to-man 15 feet from the basket. Just can't do it.
Nope.
If Rashad goes down the block, he's got a shot because Rashad's going to be more stationary.
Too fast?
Too fast, too athletic. And Rashad hits the first. 46 or 45-37 Tigers.
Sounds like Lamont's got that hand situation figured out.
Yeah. It looks like he's got more tape on it. It's more stabilized. I would say that's probably something with the wrist. And Rashad hits both. He's the 3rd Tiger in double figures. All with 10. 46-37, Tigers by 9. This is Lewis. He comes in replacing Jordan. Cundiff. Around here on the near side to Mumford. Mumford. Puts it up over Bishop. Bishop says, no, sir.
Another block for Rashad.
Yep. Dozier headed the other way. Here's Thomas. Bodies all over the place. Out to LaMont. Bishop. Near side to Spikes. Spikes in the lane to Bishop. 18-footer baseline. No, that's not Rashad's game. Chris Briggs throws his hands up because he knows Bishop's better slashing. Here's Lewis. Right side to Cundiff. Working on Dozier. Whips it out to Lewis.
Good find.
3. No. Thomas did what he was not supposed to do. He watched the ball. Ribeiro in the lane. Good. 12 for Ribeiro. He has all 4 Lindsey Wilson points here in the second half.
Making his presence known in the second.
And Cam Brooks Harris in. Dozier gets a screen from Bishop.
Good
Dozier
finish.
And a foul on Jones. By my count, that's Jamias Jones' first foul. The second. Oh, they called that on Ribeiro? They did. I didn't think Ribeiro was anywhere near the play. Wasn't that Jones at Dozier?
Looked like it to me.
Thank you. So that is on Jamias Jones. That's 2 on Jamias. And Dozier now. And a held ball. Nope, a foul on Dozier. Outside official, some 35 feet, makes that call.
I thought it was a good play. Way to grab the ball and try to force the jump ball. But
said he wrapped his arms around it, but how many times do you see a play like that they call a foul on, but then you got a player on the floor and 2 people dive in on top of him and they let it go? For Tay, that's foul number 1, the second on the Tigers here in the second 20 minutes. Lewis gets it into Ribeiro. Ribeiro backs in, jump hook off the glass, good. That's a nice move by the 7-footer.
And really, if you're Drew LaMont, you can't play much better defense than that. There's just a height advantage.
He's giving up 4 inches. You can try to get him off the block with your lower body. So Ribeiro goes about 270. Oh, wow. Ohmer. Should be goaltending. Yep.
And Jake Ohmer with a speedy cut.
Yep, 11 and a nice find from, was that Dozier or was that Spikes?
It was Dozier.
It's 51-41. Tigers by 10. Robinson in the corner for three. Nobody picked him up.
And another miscommunication. That's the third time that Robinson has found a wide open look and nobody's guarding him.
10 for Robinson. It's 51-44 Tigers. 15 and a half to play. Spikes for three. Nope. Rebounded by Roberto. Here come the Blue Raiders. Robinson in the corner. They'll swing it around. Strong. Now to Jones. Three for Strong. No. Rebounded by Dozier. Here's Ohmer. On the floor. Foul. Count it to foul.
Jake
Wow.
Ohmer continuing his performance.
13. Jameis Jones with his third, the team fourth. Ohmer will be at the line for one. Cundiff will come back in replacing Jones. And for Georgetown, we have Cam Brooks Harris replacing Rashad Bishop. Then we get Veron Kalonji.
And Jake Ohmer 0 for 3 at the free throw line.
Yeah, it's un-Ohmer-like. 53-44, Tigers by 9. This is Cundiff around to Strong, down to Kalonji on the baseline. Robinson, Strong, now to Lewis. Left elbow to Kalonji, puts it on the floor, tries to back down on LaMont, jump shot, look no good. Strong got away with a slap of the wrist. Here's a three by Cundiff. Short. Dozier with those long arms somehow kept the ball away from Robinson. Here come the Tigers. Spikes using the LaMont screen. Backing on Cundiff. Jump hook. Short. Dozier tips. No. Goes back and doesn't get it. Rebounded by Lewis. Blue Raiders run. Pulls up. 15-footer straightaway. Lewis good.
Solid floater by Lewis. Got to his spot and elevated.
That's one of those, though, when Lewis takes that shot, he better hit it because there was nobody in a black jersey to rebound.
And wide open down low is Cam Brooks Harris. Good find by Dozier.
And that's the first field goal, the first points of the day for Cam Brooks Harris. Here's Cundiff. Kalonji, now to Lewis. Kalonji. And Lamont bumping. Lewis will shoot three. No. Rebounded by Dozier. Ahead to Ohmer. The lob in the basket. Oh, my.
What?
A three-quarter court pass from Tay Dozier to Jake Ohmer.
And in terms of elite passing, that's as good as it gets right there. And a great finish by Jake.
15 for Jake. Kalonji and Spikes tied up, and it'll be Georgetown basketball.
What a pass by Dozier.
It was a held ball. Lindsey Wilson, head coach, wants to know why it was. It was a held ball.
That's one part of Dozier's game that he has elevated tremendously. His ability to throw that rock around.
Ohmer hesitates, down the lane, put it up, count it.
And Jake can score any which way. Outside, inside, you name it.
I think it's 20 for Jake. No, 17. Kalonji on the lob from Lewis. And a full timeout for Lindsey Wilson. And it's just for the head coach to talk to the official. He said, I've had enough. But now he's going to listen to him. Usually when an official tells you that, you call timeout, talk to me, okay, I've heard you, go. But 4 for Kalonji now. 59-48 quietly, LC. Georgetown has gotten an 11-point lead. So an 11-point lead, and quietly it's gone up to 11. It was 13 a minute ago.
Yeah, and Tate Dozier is kind of running the point a little bit here.
Well, you can rotate point guards like Chris Briggs can, that really helps.
Positionless basketball.
Well, you know Lamont's going to be a wing player. He's going to be more of a power forward slash somewhat of a small forward. You're going to get Rashad Bishop. He's going to play inside. But then you got guys like CBH. You got Dozier. You got Spikes. You got Thomas. You got Ohmer, Wells. Even Seth Johnson can rotate and play the zone. I tell you what, I don't know. The officials continuing to let the Lindsey Wilson head coach talk to him, but from a distance.
And at what point does that become a distraction for the Blue Raiders?
Well, he's doing his job as the head coach, but when does it come enough for the official to say, okay, I've let you vent, now we're done, let's play ball. Ohmer going to be called for traveling. Oh, they called a foul. I thought Ohmer got away with a walk. I thought that was a walk. I don't think Cundiff touched him. So Jake got a little break there. 55-48, or 59-48. Then Cundiff just blasted Ohmer. CBH with the left-hand layup, good.
Tough finish by Cam. All the way to the rack.
That's 4. For CBH, and it's 61-48 Tigers. Down low to Kalonji, working on
Somebody's got to help him.
LaMont comes over, gets a piece of it. Dozier will clear the rebound.
Good help
to
defense.
LaMont. Ahead to Spikes. Ohmer, 3, no. Brooks Harris with the rebound, back to Dozier. Back to Spikes. Spikes throws it up, it won't go. But a foul coming up on Rodney Lewis. Timeout on the floor. It's the third on Lewis. When we come back, it'll be Spikes at the line for 2 on the Tigers Sports Network. Back to Davis Reed Alumni Gym on the campus of Georgetown College. The homestanding Tigers lead by 13 with 11:48 to play in the game. And Spikes will be at the line for 2 free throws. Spikes averaging 6.7 points a game. He's a freshman out of Princeton, Kentucky, or Caldwell County High School. Kind of seems ironic. They're nicknamed the Tigers, but they're blue and gold. So Spikes at the line for 2. First free throw from the right hand is good.
Once a Tiger, always a Tiger.
Good job. It's 62-48. Tigers by 14 now. The second shot is also good by Spikes. His first 2, and the lead grows to 15.
And I'll tell you what, aside from Jake Ohmer, the free throw shooting for the Tigers has been pretty good.
You're strong. Back out to Jordan, who's back in with those 3 fouls. Lewis, 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Jones back in with 3 as well. This is Lewis. Down low to Jones, and a foul coming up on Day Dozier. That's the second on Dozier, the third on the Tigers here in the second half.
At the line for the Blue Raiders, number 11.
And Jones was down there wide open early. If he would have got a quicker pass, that could have been an easy bucket.
And Jones hits the first. 3 for Jones. Lucas Ribeiro back in, replacing Kalanji. Jones free throw. Back rim, front rim. Back rim and front rim, then falls through.
The friendly roll.
The shooter calls that the shooter's touch. Tate Dozier with it. They give it off to Ohmer on the little curl. Floater from 10, good.
He's just got that quick fire, man. No dribbles needed. Catch it,
His
throw it up.
Catch and shoot time reminds me of Dan Marino's. Drop back 7 steps, and LaMont reaches in. LaMont didn't need to do that. He pushed Ribeiro about 8 feet away from the basket. I want to see if Ribeiro can shoot a jump hook with that left hand. That's the first foul on LaMont. The 4th on the Tigers. And Ribeiro, who has had a great game for Lindsey Wilson, misses the first. He has 14.
And we mentioned Giannis Antetokounmpo earlier. Ribeiro wearing number 34. The Greek Freak is, without a question, an idol to the internationals.
He missed both free throws. He's got 14, 9 above his average of 5 coming in. Spikes with a right-hand flush.
Spikes throwing it down.
Oh, my. That's 4 for Spikes.
Shoo. And when he gets ahead of steam.
Another timeout for Lindsey Wilson.
Shoo.
And a full timeout. And the lead has swelled to 17 at 67-50 Tigers with 10.5 to play.
Don't let Spike's stature fool you. He can get up there.
He can, but he looks more like a running back. He goes 6'2", and he would be a heck of a running back on the football field, that's for sure. You know, about 190, 195.
I think he'd hurdle a few people.
He would be very much a tough man to bring down. 67-50 Tigers. Scott County Physical Therapy, a fine sponsor of Georgetown College Athletics. They can get you back on the floor or the field or back to your job quickly after an injury or a surgery. Get you back quickly. That's Scott County Physical Therapy. Tigers lead 67-50 here. On what is a dreary, somewhat, looks like a little bit of sun peeking out right now outside as I look out here, Davis Reed Alumni Gym. That's the other vulnerable thing about this gymnasium. There is not window 1 to look outside with.
Not a whole lot of natural lighting up in here.
Nope. Lewis will inbounds to Mumford, who's back in.
Good pressure in the corner.
CBH takes it away. Here's Dozier off to CBH. Hangs. Count it. 6 for Dozier, and it's a 19-point Tiger lead.
Great play by Cam, trapping him in the corner, forcing the turnover.
I think Georgetown woke up and said, Darren, what do you mean we're not playing with the same fire? Here's Lewis, almost a turnover. Gives it off to Mumford and a foul on CBH. And I tell you what, that's a bailout. I don't think Harris committed a foul, and I don't think Mumford committed a violation. I think that he just bobbled the ball, and it looked like to the official that CBH did something. That's the 3rd on, well, they say the 4th.
And I'm not sure what Harris did, but the officials a few times now have called a few on him that could go either way.
Well, in that one there, I just thought there was no violation on Mumford. There was no foul on Brooks Harris. I just thought it was a play on. Here's Mumford in the lane, puts it up. Nope, got hung up to Ribeiro in the lane. Turns it from 12, got it.
Solid jumper from the big man.
16 for Ribeiro. And here's the thing. He's not a guy that on your scouting report is going to hurt you offensively. Here's LaMont. Driving baseline, has a height advantage on Mumford. Jump hook, right baseline, back rim, no. Ribeiro with the rebound. Off to Jordan. Now to Lewis. Back to Jordan. Blocked from behind. Was that Bishop or was that Sparks?
Oh my God. The no-look alley-oop on his head.
That was Tay Dozier. Here's a 2 from Lewis. And wow.
I can't believe my eyes.
It's a timeout. Is that Lindsey or Georgetown?
Where's the instant replay board?
Timeout, Lindsey. Oh my goodness. 15 for Tay Dozier, and none bigger than the highlight. Steve Moss left too early.
I hope somebody had the cameras on because that was
Holy
insane.
Smokes. Wow.
That was a no-look alley-oop.
And who is that that made the pass? Was that
Jake?
Was that Jake?
That was Ohmer.
Oh my. 71-54 Tigers. Been a couple of highlights this afternoon in the Tiger uniform.
Tay Dozier, what a game.
15 for Dozier.
And he's doing it all. He's getting the assists, he's getting the rebounds, and making the plays that matter most. And in terms of highlights, it doesn't get much better than that one right there.
19 for Dozier. 10 for Thomas. 15 for Dozier. I mean, who do you guard?
There's too many good players on this Tigers team. There's too much depth.
Well, you got two that can play way, way above the rim in Bishop and Dozier. Then you got CBH that no slouch either. And then Thomas and Spikes can both get off the ground as well, too. They go to the high post. They lob it to Bishop. Oh, my, and no foul call. And now Mumford. Oh, my.
Looked like he poked it free.
My. Holy smokes.
Man, it was almost showtime again in Alumni Gym.
Yeah, you had. I think that was Ribeiro that was down there that kind of got into the body of Bishop, and then you call a little supposed hold. Here's a near steal, and Bishop will be called for his third. That's the 7th on Georgetown. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That was over and back almost, too, before Bishop committed the foul.
Man, the Tigers are up big right now, but they still got their foot on the gas pedal.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't know how you don't have a foul on the alley-oop to Bishop.
Oh, he 100% got fouled on that. I mean, there was a lot of contact on that alley-oop for sure.
Lewis missed the free throw on the one in the bonus, and they said that LaMont touched it last, but Mumford was the one swatting at the ball towards his basket and went out underneath there. Okay, anyway, I don't know. They try to get into Cundiff. They do just barely. He goes in the lane to beat Ribeiro, and he nice jump hook. If it wasn't for Ribeiro, they wouldn't be in it where they're at right now.
Yep.
He's got 18, a career game for him. Georgetown has no answer. Here's Dozier. And a foul, and I think it's on Ribeiro.
It sounded like he hit the ball.
Yep, they call him with the body, I think. No, they're going to say the wrist. I thought he got him with the body if he got him anywhere. That's his third. Dozier now will go back to the line for 2. Free throw good from Dozier. He has 16 now. 72-56 Tigers. They get 73-56. 17 for Tay. Into Cundiff. Back to Jordan, who will work it up on Spikes. Jordan got a screen from Ribeiro, but it didn't help him much. Here's Cundiff. Down the left block to Ribeiro. They said LaMont flop, but I'm telling you what. Not a flop when you run, you lower your shoulder. Could have been called a charge. They ought to be happy with the basket. 20 now for the Ribeiro.
Ohmer, quick release. He's got it.
Hadn't heard from Ohmer in a while other than the no-look half-court alley-oop to Dozier. Stripped by Ohmer. Here he comes the other way. Bishop running the lane and a foul on Cundiff.
And I have to say something. Rashad Bishop is being patient in the paint on the defensive end, and he is not falling for those pump fakes.
That's the third on Cundiff. And at the line will be Jake Ohmer for 1+1.
At the line for the Tigers, number 2, Jake Ohmer, shooting 1.
Should be 1+1, right?
Finally, Jake Ohmer knocks one down at the line, a sigh of relief for him.
He was 0 for 3 from the line. He has 23 by my count. Make it 24. Hit a quiet 24 to a point. Got 15 here in the second half. 78-58. Tigers by 20. With 7:25 to play, Connor Robinson comes back in, replacing Lewis. Ribeiro goes to the bench, and Jackson Edwards in place of him. Into Cundiff. Now back to Jordan. Jordan. Straightaway 3. Got it. Now, Lindsey shot the ball pretty well from the floor here in the second half, but here's the thing. This is where they got to pick it up.
On the defensive end.
If they want to get back in this. Spikes gets a screen from Bishop. LaMont pulls up from 8, in and out, back in.
And everything's falling for the Tigers.
5 for LaMont. 80-61, Tigers by 19. Double screen for Jordan. Down low to Edwards. LaMont a little late getting there, and a lay-in for Edwards. 80-63, Tigers with 6:20 to play. This is the slowest you'll see Georgetown go. The Spikes walks across the timeline. Ohmer. In the corner to Dozier. Dozier bounces all the way across the court to Spikes. In the lane to Bishop. Hangs. No. Dozier tips. No, but a foul. And I think that's on Jackson Edwards.
And right now, the ball movement for the Tigers, working around the clock and finding the right shot.
That's 3 on Edwards. He is the 4th Blue Raider with 3. Cundiff has 3. Jordan has 3. Lewis has 3. Jones has 3. And now, actually the 5th. Edwards and Ribeiro all have 3.
And Dozier just piling on in the points column right now.
He's got 18. Make it 19. 82-63 Tigers. A tick over 6 minutes left in the game. Jordan inbounds to Edwards, now to Cundiff, who will bring it across the timeline. Ohmer waiting on him. Cundiff to Robinson here on the near side. To Mumford, back to Robinson. Around to Jordan. Boy, look at Spikes. Jordan in the corner to Robinson. 3. Quick release, good.
Great shot by Robinson.
Robinson has 13. That's almost double his average. He has averaged at 7 coming in. Spikes tried to hit Bishop on the roll. And I thought Edwards got away with a little trunk pull. Do you see that?
Yep.
Tigers turn it over, and it goes back to Lindsey Wilson. Timeout on the floor. It's Tigers by 16. A little over 5 to go. Back at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, Georgetown leading 82-66 over rival Lindsey Wilson. Lindsey Wilson, I think, in the last 25 years has won this building 3 times. Not a lot of people come here and win.
Not an easy place to play, like we've said.
Yeah, they have been the ones that have been more successful than anybody in this building.
And the temperature, of course, has to play a factor here in the sauna.
Jordan, they get it down low to Edwards, turns, jump hook, left it too strong, rebounded by CBH. That was a point-blank look. They lobbed ahead to Bishop, count it and a foul.
Great find by Jake Ohmer again.
Wow, I'm telling you. Edwards picks up his 4th. And that's the 10th on the Blue Raiders, and Bishop now in double figures with 10.
And he gets everything that he wants when he gets that ball down low.
Make it 11 for him now. Or at least that's what we get Chad Ohmer coming into the ball game, and I think he's going to replace his brother. Nope, he's going to replace Spikes.
The Ohmer show here in the second half.
I like Chad's shoes better. They're more the Georgetown look. So it's the Ohmer brothers in the backcourt, along with Dozier, Brooks Harris, and Bishop for Georgetown. Jordan, here in the corner to Mumford, drives baseline, tried to dunk on CBH, and that is done for CBH. He becomes the first player to foul out. And Seth Johnson will come back in with 4:36 to play in a 19-point Georgetown lead. Mumford will shoot 2. Free throw, no good.
Can we get an Ohmer to Ohmer lob? That would be sweet, wouldn't it?
It would, but I don't know which one could get up higher. If you ask Jake, he could. If you ask Chad, he could.
I think you're right about that one.
Mumford had that one dance all over the place and stay. The first points of the afternoon for Mumford as Cundiff comes out. Jones back in. And Jones is gonna be assigned to guard Jake Ohmer.
And we got an Ohmer brother in each corner.
Wonder if Chad's release is as quick as Jake's. Here's Ohmer. Jake Ohmer, this is. Here's Chad. Down the lane he goes. Left hand layup. Good.
Love to see it.
And a little flex from the younger Ohmer.
And the Tigers loving it on the bench.
Here's a deep 3 from Jordan. No good. Tipped up by Edwards. No good. Here's Ohmer.
Oh, what a pass.
Oh, my. Ohmer for 3. In and out. Best way to finish that would have been that was a nice find from Chad Ohmer to find Bishop in the middle of the floor.
Really was.
Jordan, fall away from 6. No good. Edwards tips. They're going to call it on Dozier. I tell you what, Edwards, as Dozier left the floor, kind of gave him a little nudge to get a hand on it, and then Dozier reaching back. They're going to call him. See, I don't agree with that. That's not a two-shot foul. That's a tip. Should be one in the bonus.
But again, how about Chad Ohmer with little mini Euro step on his way to the basket?
Free throw no good from Edwards. That is 3 on Dozier. Lazard back in. Because theoretically, you don't control the ball on the tip. That's where I'm getting the fact that it's not a two-shot foul. But nonetheless, Edwards misses both. Lindsey has a chance to, cut this lead down some at the foul line with the clock stopped, and they're missing free throws now. Dozier to Bishop. No look pass to Johnson, who just uses strength and misses the layup. That was a nice, strong move by Johnson, though. Robinson for 3. Steps in, left it short. Johnson claims a rebound and a foul. Take your pick. Is it on Edwards or is it on Mumford? They both were there. Mumford.
Foul number 2. Jordan Mumford is first.
That's the first on Mumford. And Johnson will go to the line to shoot 2. And Johnson will be the last Tiger to score. And he hits the first. Boy, he shot that one. He hit flat on the back of the iron and dropped through. Now, every Tiger who has been on the floor and played has scored in this game.
There you go.
88-67 Tigers. And he back rims that one, no good, but Bishop gets the rebound. Bishop, jump hook in the lane, no good. Ohmer missed a putback. Rebounded by Robinson. It's 3-on-1. Jones missed the layup, rebounded by Johnson. And Jake, was that Chad Ohmer or Jake?
It was
Ohmer
Jake. He was able to contest that just enough.
No look pass from Jake to Chad, who gives it. Look out. Dozier had it stripped. Gets it back, throws it into the Georgetown bench. And Chad gets a teammate slap from CBH on the bench, who's fouled out today.
And Cam has to be one of the most supportive players I've seen on the bench. He's getting up every time when somebody makes a good play. You love to see it.
And Chad Ohmer gets a hand on the pass on in from Lazard. Just announced that the cheerleaders won their 3rd straight conference championship.
There you go.
Lazard will bring it across the timeline, working on Chad Ohmer. Lazard in the corner to Jones. Penetrates, gets it back to Lazard. Lazard going to work on Ohmer again. Now to back it up. 10 on the shot clock. In the corner, Strong for 3. He finally hits one. And a breath of relief for Strong.
And the Tigers looking to put this one away. Let every second tick off that clock.
88-70. Tigers by 18. 2:04 to play. Tigers will be moving to 24-4 on the year. 18-4 in the conference. Here's Bishop again. And a nice pass from Dozier.
And Dozier's been doing it all game, facilitating the rock.
13 for Bishop. Mumford or Lazard, a 17-footer, missed that one poorly. Rebounded, saved into Ohmer. Tigers run. Ohmer, no look. Here's Chad Ohmer. Step back. Oh, man. Here goes 3 for Chad. Short. He's got the same fall-away 3 look. They're going to lob it for Robinson. Missed it. Rebounded by Chad Ohmer. Off to Dozier. Dozier, look out. Bishop's on the loose. Johnson, 3 in the corner. Back rim, no. Rebounded by Strong. Jordan headed the other way to Robinson, who's going to slow it down. Now to Strong. He'll shoot a deep 3, right side. Got it.
Whew. Strong heating up here a little bit. But a little too late.
Strong. It's 90-73 Tigers. Shot clock still on. About 27 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock. 90-73, Tigers. Bishop. Here's Ohmer. Couple of fakes.
Oh,
Throws it
wow.
up with the shot clock running off. Ball tipped up in the air. Ohmer grabs it. This is Jake. No good. Tip, no good. Jake knocks it off the head of Lazard. And with 22.1 to play, Thomas will come in replacing Jake Ohmer.
And Ohmer is just a magician with that basketball in his hand. Only needs a split second to get that ball off.
3 second differential between game clock and shot clock. Here's Ohmer to Thomas. Back to Dozier. Thomas, 3 straight away. No. Rebound Lazard. 7 to play. And looks like Lindsey's going to just dribble it out.
What a ball game in Alumni Gym.
Georgetown moves to 22-4 on the year. 24-4, excuse me. 18-4 in the Mid-South Conference. Lindsey Wilson with the loss drops to 10-17 on the year. 6-16 in the conference. Georgetown looking every bit the number 1 seed. And oh, by the way, folks, a legit national title contender. I know they've dropped down a little bit in the rankings throughout the season with a couple of losses here and there, but they are poised to make another deep run come March.
100%. And, you know, they're turning on the Jets at just the right time here in the most important part of the season. You know, we're really getting down to the nitty-gritty, and every win matters. And it was a good one today.
Tigers convincing today. It took a little while to get going. And then the flurry at the end of the first half, the rejection by Bishop, the outlet to Dozier, and then the reverse no-look layup by Dozier to end the half to give the Tigers a 6-point lead at the break.
Check this out. Lamont's got a little fan club. They all got their little, what do you call that?
The little Fu Manchu.
There you go. It's good stuff.
The CBH does a photobomb on Lamont.
He's always having fun.
And says, you know, hey, this is my time. We'll be back in just a moment, give you the rundown of the numbers, and then hopefully have Coach Chris Briggs up with us on the Tigers Sports Network. Back at Davis Reed Alumni Gym on the campus of Georgetown College, it's been a victorious senior day for both the men and the women. The men win in the nightcap 90-73 over Lindsey Wilson. Quickly, the numbers here for Lindsey. Lindsey shot much better the second half. 28 of 60 on the day for 47%. 9 of 23 from behind the arc for 39%. However, the undoing a lot of it was done on the glass and the free throw line. 8 of 18 from the foul line for Lindsey Wilson for 44%. Don't win ball games, you shoot under 70% from the foul line as a team.
I think maybe the atmosphere could have played a little factor in that.
Possibly. And then again, the attention to detail. You don't use the same routine at the foul line and things like that, and it costs you. Georgetown, on the other hand, shooting 33 of 62 for 53%. 6 of 19 from behind the arc for 32%. 18 of 23 from the foul line for 78%.
And real quick, how about this? What a game by Tay Dozier. 1 assist shy of a triple-double. Played 33 minutes, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, 19 points. Doesn't get much better than that.
Just a day at the office.
Knocked down all 7 of his free throws, too.
Yep. And, that's what, again, Georgetown misses 5 free throws out of their 23 taken. They outscore the Blue Raiders from the foul line by 10. Now, yes, the deficit is 17 here at the end of this game. But if you hit free throws, that gives you time to get into the press and helps you get back in the ball game. But Lindsey unable to do that. Lindsey Wilson today placed 3 players in double figures, led by 18 by Lucas Ribeiro. That's 13 points above his average. Well, actually, 12 and a half above his average. He averaged 5.5 coming in. It was 13 for Connor Robinson, 11 for Peyton Cundiff, 8 for Jamie Strong, and then 4 each for Rodney Lewis, Veron Kalanji, 2 points for Jackson Edwards and for Jalen Lazard, as well as Jemias Jones, and then 1 point for Jordan Mumford. For Georgetown, they placed 4 players in double figures, paced by 24 from Jake Ohmer, 19 from Tay Dozier, 15 from Rashad Bishop, 10 from Tommy Thomas. We had 6 for Cam Brooks Harris before he fouled out, 5 for Drew LaMont, 4 for Jabarion Spikes, 2 for Chad Ohmer.
One thing I'd love to ask Coach Briggs, the unlimited potential for Tay Dozier. He's a freshman, putting up these kinds of numbers.
I know. We'll get
the sky's the limit.
We will definitely get that. Joining us up here is Chris Briggs, and I like the suit and the tie look. I guess I'm old-fashioned.
Yeah, I know, all right. I go suit. I go, sport coat.
You go sport coat and an open collar.
Yeah,
but
I can't do the coaching and sweatsuit stuff that some of these guys do this day. But,
Yeah,
hey, everybody's got their choice. So.
They do. But I tell you what, both coaches look very nice tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I complimented Coach Starks as well on his attire. He looked like he's ready to go to Keeneland, bet on the horses.
Well, I tell you what,
might go with him.
It was a horse race today. Yeah. It took you a little while to get going,
right?
But once you got going, it was one of those things today. And I commented early on, and I don't know what your position was on the bench, but it looked like your team might have been a little bit not focused today because they've already claimed the number 1 seed in the tournament.
Possibly, and that's what I told them exactly we didn't want to do, and then I commended them after the game for getting it together and not doing that. Could have been easy to just come in here and nonchalantly go through it and say the game doesn't matter, but I told them champions come to play every single day and every single minute and play hard, play together, and have too much pride to go out there and be lackadaisical and unfocused. So I'm glad we got it together, but give Lindsey credit for a hot start. I mean that's something that we're used to. Is teams are going to come in that first 5 minutes, they're going to play like all stars and try to set the tone. But something Coach Osborne always said was emotion wears off, toughness doesn't. So we just keep after our guys and stay tough, play hard, stay after it. be tough, and don't let them, just get rolling like that, and get some stops, string some stops together. And fortunately, we were able to do that.
Well, I'm not going to give Happy any credit for that. He stole that from somebody else. He had to have seen it somewhere.
Probably Coach Reed, and Coach Reed got it from Coach Davis. So, yeah,
there you go. And and
pass it on down the line.
You are the fourth coach in Georgetown history that's got 350 plus wins, or 300 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, that's what other school, not just at the NAIA level, but the NCAA level, the three levels they've got. What other school can claim that?
I got no clue on that one.
Not many. I mean, if it is, it's just on one hand. You can count the number.
Yeah, but that's it's a testament to Georgetown College and the tradition of this program. Coach Davis, 1953 was his first year as head coach, and
it's been going ever since.
Yeah, just got it rolling, and Coach Davis was built this thing on toughness. I've heard the stories of his practices, and he used to. We'd sit out there. We'd go to Frisch's most Tuesdays, a group of us with Dave Jacobs and Dave Roberts and some guys and Coach Davis, and sit there and listen to his old practice stories. And usually either at the beginning of the story, end of the story, he'd look at me and say, "Now, Chris, you can't do that these days. You'll get fired." So, he would give us some good ones, but those guys love playing for him. And most of them, I think some of them definitely had some stories about not loving playing for him. But, but he instilled that toughness in them, and that's what started the whole thing. And obviously Coach Reed, Coach Osborne carried it on. So, very fortunate, for those guys and their families and what they've done for Georgetown basketball.
Well, I tell you what, couple of things I got to ask you. One, LC here wants me to ask you, what is the ceiling limit for Tay Dozier?
Man.
He's a freshman, and I'm telling you what,
Unreal,
I don't think the ceiling will hold him right now.
He's so athletic, so smooth, explosive. He's got to gain weight. He's got to gain some weight just to get a little stronger and
put him on 2,100 calorie diet.
Be better defensively. But man,
he is so quick with his hands too, though, on the defensive end.
It's natural. It's just some guys are born with stuff like that, and guys like us weren't.
Thank you.
He's but
and he can jump out of the gym on top of that.
Yeah, and he knows every position on the floor. He'll play the point. He'll play the four. Guys are out there used to running their spot that they run all the time, and he's smart enough to know it all. I mean, and he's academic all conference. Because he was here last year as a redshirt freshman, so like 3.5 GPA. Yeah. Like, I mean, he's just. I mean, I love him. It's awesome to have him here, and absolutely looking forward to watching him continue to develop and play in a Georgetown uniform.
Well, speaking of a guy that this ceiling will not hold, Rashad Bishop.
Right.
There was a lob that was just absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would. I would have bet money on it. He wouldn't have gotten to it, and he got to it. And not only did he get to it, but he posterized a couple of guys. One of them happened to be one of his teammates. But
he can do that. He can definitely do that.
He's got some springs.
He would have had one more. Guy got a little piece of it on that little zone play. But yeah, I mean that's what he specializes in. That's why when he wants to he wants to be Kevin Durant, shoot those jump shots every once in a while. And I'm sitting there thinking they better go in, and that one didn't go in. Yeah. But you got to give him one of those. If he's going to lob, dunk 4 or 5, let him shoot a jumper.
Oh, he swatted away a few tonight too. And the one he got one right at the end of the first half that was probably a momentum builder for you coming out of the locker room in the second half. He swats the ball. I believe he got it off the glass too. After he swatted it and then made
the fast break
out to Dozier, who made a heck of a catch and a finish where he didn't even had a clue where the rim was.
Right. Yeah, that was unbelievable. So looking forward to going back and kind of watching that on the synergy on the game film and the clips. And
oh, by the way, he's a freshman too.
Right. So, yeah. Well, he was COVID year, first year, and then redshirted last year. Played in a couple games, but didn't play in the postseason. So yeah, he's a third-year freshman. He is a freshman. He's absolutely a freshman. Yeah. So, great young core. Veterans like Jake and Drew that have been around the block and played for years. Leading these guys and just excited about what we have coming up is as long as we can get everybody healthy. I didn't want to put Quay back in there late and take a chance there. He's fine, but just Kyron, hopefully we're going to get him back, and probably could have gone today if we had to have him. But
I noticed he was out warming up between games.
Yeah, not worth that risk. I mean, he said he wanted to play a little bit, and I thought about throwing him in there early in the first half, but I wasn't going to throw him in there and get him hurt now and set him back another week or two.
Yeah, or lose him for the rest of the year.
Yeah. So.
Well, we remiss about talking about two other plays. How about the no-look lob from Ohmer just on the other side of half court
Right.
to Rashad.
That was Tay.
Oh, that was Tay.
That was Tay. Yeah, the long pass to Tay.
No, there was two. Ohmer did one right to the Bishop dunk, and then Tay with the three-quarter court one to Ohmer, all in stride with the finish at the other. And I saw you shaking your head, looking at your staff, going,
right.
Thank God that play
right.
connected.
Right.
I didn't know who to get on Jake or to get on the Tay.
Yeah. We'll try some things. We're not hurting for confidence to try some things. I'll give them that. So.
Well, they're playing loose. They're a loose group.
Uh-huh.
And when you got down 9 in the first half, Chris, and I'm going to let you go after this question. You got down 9 at the half, or right there early in the first quarter, or first half of the ball game. It really was the first 3.5 minutes of the game. You were down 9.
Yeah.
And I think you called a quick timeout, got them back focused, and then from that point on, it looked like the intensity level went to another level, especially on the defensive end for you.
Now, I'm sure there were some choice words in that timeout, if that's the case. I know, I was pretty calm today with them. I was a little more frustrated with some of the inconsistent whistle, but we won't get into that. Just challenged them. Said sometimes you just got to play through it. You're going to have adversity. You're going to get hit and grabbed and two-hand held, and they're not going to call it. Just play through it. Just be tougher, be more physical, and go strong and play off 2 feet, and it'll all work out at the end. And, they stepped up to the challenge and buckled down and played the defense that we need to play. They had some clean looks early. We told him coming in, Peyton Cundiff, little number 3, is going to hoist him up from half court if he gets open, and he sure did. And
guard him as soon as he get off the bus.
Right. So, give them credit. They came out and played really well. And, fortunately for us, we responded to the challenge and were able to get it done.
Well, 26-4 heading in, 25-4, excuse me, 25-4 heading into the postseason, into the Mid-South Conference tournament. Coach, the number 1 overall seed, and your team starting to really put themselves in a position to be considered a national threat again.
Yeah, and that let the chips fall where they may. That's always.
It's all about the draw in this tournament.
Yeah. You never know who you're gonna get. We should be hosting here. We better be. I know we put the bid in and things like that, so we'll see how that goes. But we should be hosting here after the conference tournament. So just hopefully we can get everybody healthy. And
sounds like you need to get healthy too.
I
Coach.
Talking, yelling all day, and water and
sinuses and everything.
Weather
else.
change. I mean, hell, it was 70 the other day, and then it was 32. So
I think it was 19 this morning.
Yeah. So just get guys healthy and get focused. And this time of year is awesome. It's fun. I mean, there's nothing like getting hot in a basketball tournament. Some of those tournaments in the past, getting hot in a basketball tournament, kind of like getting hot on a dice table. So a whole lot of fun. Man.
Well, Coach, good luck in the conference tournament as we try to let you go so you won't choke yourself or lose consciousness here on me. But good luck down in Bowling Green, I believe, the conference tournament next week. And then we'll see you hopefully in the first couple of rounds of the NAIA tournament right here.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Coach Chris Briggs.
Yep.
25-4 on the season for the Tigers to finish up the regular season, and 19-4, or actually 18-4. Oh, Coach, don't want to cause him to fall. 18-4 on the season, and I tell you what, LC, he just said, I mean, you got Rashad Bishop. He might be a third-year freshman, but he hasn't played a lot at the college level until this year. And then you've got Tay Dozier for another 3 years. Look out Mid-South Conference. If those two guys get a little bit of weight and strength on them.
Look out Mid-South Conference. Look out National Tournament.
Yep.
This is a team that is going to be here to play for years to come.
I agree.
And Coach Briggs has established this, somewhat of a dynasty, and he's only building upon it.
Yeah, well, let's just talk about this. The dynasty was established, as he said, back in 1953. Dr. Bob Davis, the late Dr. Bob Davis, passing away a couple of years ago. He would love to watch this team's work ethic, especially on the defensive end, because when they got down and guarded on the half court and the defensive side of things, that's when the game changed.
Absolutely. And it almost felt like Coach Briggs kind of gave the reins of the offense to Tay Dozier a little bit there, allowing him to facilitate and run the point. And
well, at times you had Spikes running it, you had Thomas running it, you had Ohmer running it, you had Wells running it, you had Johnson a couple times when he was in there running it. So you had so many different guys that can run the point. It takes a lot of pressure off, not only emotionally but physically off of everybody else. So that's, going to be bodes well for Georgetown come the postseason.
Look at this picture right here. Cam Brooks Harris just ran over to take a picture for the folks. He's done it all. Didn't have a great game, got fouled out.
Is that Quay's group?
But first one to run over there and take the picture for the group.
He's taking a picture of a group. I don't know unless that's his. Well, I guess that's his family. I guess he's taking a picture with. Who knows? CBH, who knows? He's this year's version of Chris Coffey.
There you go.
Might not be as tall, but he's got that same kind of carefree attitude. LC, great working with you, buddy.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, and hopefully we'll be here in a couple of weeks and do a couple of games.
Can't wait.
In the NAIA National Tournament, as they have hopefully we'll have a pod here come 2 weeks from now or 2.5 weeks from now, whatever that was. Winning senior day for both the women and the men. Women take down Lindsey Wilson 87-56. Tiger men take down Lindsey Wilson 90-73. For LC and for all our fine staff here on the Tiger Sports Network, until hopefully the first couple of rounds of the NAIA National Tournament to be played right here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. If not, we'll see you in the fall.
Yep.
For football, Tiger football year number 2 under Chris Oliver.